Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever looked at a kid, maybe even your own, and just thought, why are you so lazy? It is so frustrating, right? You see them just drifting, totally unmotivated. But what if we're looking at this all wrong? What if the problem isn't laziness at all? What if it's something deeper?
This quote right here, wow, it just nails it. It's telling us this isn't about a bad attitude or a lack of willpower. The big idea we're going to unpack here is that when a kid seems checked out, they're not being lazy, they're lost. They are missing that one crucial piece of the puzzle, the why.
And you know, this lack of a why, it leads to what you could call a crisis of meaning. We see the end result and we label it burnout. But here's the thing, burnout isn't the problem. Nope, it's just a symptom, a red flag that something much, much deeper is going on.
So that brings us to the big question, right? Why do they burn out? If it's not just about too much homework or them just deciding, I don't want to do this anymore, then what's really going on?
Yeah, from the outside, it looks so simple. We see the behavior and we think, they just don't want to do it. That's the common belief. But the reality, what's happening on the inside, it's so much more complicated. The real reason is they're struggling because they don't see the point.
And this is what's swirling around in their heads. These massive unanswered questions. Why all this? Why do I have to do this stuff? Why does it matter right now? And seriously, how does any of this homework, these classes, how does it actually matter in my life? And when nobody helps them answer those questions, well, that's when motivation just completely falls apart.
And here's the scary part. This whole crisis of meaning, it doesn't just pop up overnight. Oh no. It's this slow, quiet decline. And if you don't catch it, it can spiral over a few years and have some really serious consequences.
The path it takes is, well, it's pretty predictable. In year one, the child just pretends. They go through the motions, to keep the parents and teachers happy. But by year two, pretending is just too exhausting. So they start to disconnect. They might be in the room, but they're not really there. They're checked out. And then year three. That's when the disconnect gets so deep, they actually start to lose themselves. They don't even know who they are or what they want anymore.
And after that, it gets really, really hard to bring them back. That's the danger. After that slide, finding that spark of purpose again is just incredibly tough. The time to step in is way, way earlier than most of us think.
Okay, so if the problem is this lack of meaning, what do we do about it? Well, first we have to admit something tough. Our usual go-to methods are often part of the problem. And that brings us to this central idea, this clash between control and purpose.
So let's be super clear about where meaning doesn't come from. Real, lasting motivation, it's never going to come from someone just saying you have to do it. It doesn't come from pressure from school or the threat of a bad grade. All those external controls, they're like band-aids. They might work for a second, but they actually do more harm than good in the long run.
And this really breaks down the two different ways to look at this. On one side, you've got the control model. This is all about compliance. It's about demanding action. And how do we measure success? Grades. But then there's the purpose model. And this flips everything on its head. It focuses on understanding. It fosters meaning. And success? It's not a letter on a report card. It's their confidence.
So this really gets to the big picture, the ultimate goal. Because look, we're not just trying to get them to do their homework tonight. We're trying to help them see that their whole life is more than just a checklist of tasks they have to get through.
This right here, this is what true motivation feels like. It's that feeling deep down that life isn't just a list of chores. It's a path that you get to walk consciously. It's about having a say in your own journey, not just following orders.
And really, that's the whole point. The grades, the awards, that stuff is nice, but it's secondary. The real goal, the most important thing we can do, is to help them get back what really matters, their confidence in their own path.
So that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? It's one thing to understand all this, but it's another thing to actually do something about it. So how do we help them see the path and not just the next thing on the checklist?